What?
Yeah, that's so funny because she told me the exact same thing.
What?
I totally forgot to tell you. She said you can record it and post it, but you still need to have written out minutes.
We do.
She's told Josh that like 15 times.
Yep, we do. We have written minutes. For those of you who are watching this video at home, it is completely done. It just hasn't been uploaded on our website yet. So I am Josh Miller, the building principal.
Hi, I'm Lacey Whitaker. I'm the PSP representative. I have 2 kiddos here.
That's Miss Liu. She doesn't want to say anything though.
Hi, I'm Deborah Ormsby, and I guess I give the DAC update and give you DAC information.
That she just found out she's doing tonight.
No, I knew this for like 3 months. It's okay.
Even better.
Lisa appointed her.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Smith, you want to introduce yourself?
I am Chad Smith. I'm my granddaughter there.
And she's in kindergarten.
She is. But I have 6 who have gone through the school district. So.
All right, Miss Ulrich, you're up.
Hi, my name is Rihanna. My daughter is in 5th grade.
All right, Ashley, that's you.
All right, I'm Ashley Jakubowski. I'm the PLS and GT facilitator and our teacher rep for SAC, and I have a 1st grader and a preschooler.
All right, Christina, your last one.
I'm Christina. I have a 6th grader at the school, and I am the PSP co-vice president.
Nice. All right, so I sent a link out to all of you with the agenda on it, and on it also is a link to our last meeting that has been recorded and posted legally. Mrs. Loomer.
I don't know.
Along with our posted notes. And so then we're just going to move right on to the principal update. And so with that, I will be able to present. So just hang on for 1 second. If you have any questions and you're at home, I can't see you once we start presenting. So just let me know if you have any questions, and I'll go ahead and stop from there. And I'll just kind of be switching around a couple of screens because we're going to go over budget today, which is super riveting. And we will go from there. So just let me present. All right, can you guys see that? Sort of, yep. Okay, let me go here. I went from a school theme. So in case you didn't know, today is 02/22/2022. Yes, please do. All right, so first things first, we wanted to talk about our agenda. So we've gone through most everything. So now we're here on item number 3, which is our principal update. And then we'll move into our teacher update, DAC update, PSP update, open forum, and then we'll talk about our next meeting. So from there, first things first is staffing. So I shared at our last meeting, our staffing for next year looks pretty well. We are losing a couple teachers. 2, I think, are going to leave the profession, unfortunately. One is having their first child and is moving back east. And then the other one, I think, is leaving the profession. And then we have 2 pretty significant retirees. It's not completely public yet, but it will be. Miss Anita, who's been here for 472 years, is going to retire at the end of this year. And then Mr. Anderson, our music teacher, who's been here for slightly less than 422 years, he will also be retiring at the end of the year. And so we're going to have a pretty big celebration. We don't typically have teachers retire. We're going to have quite a few coming up here in the next couple of years. But last year, or I guess it was 2 years ago, we had Mrs. Ward. She's been our last one that's been here for a long time. But we'll be celebrating them at the end of the year. And other than that, all of our staff will be returning. We have potential for next year to move up to 4 sections of 2nd grade, 4 sections of 1st grade, and 4 sections of kindergarten. And so we are budgeting for that, which you will see in just a second. And then we will move forward with that. But any questions on our staffing allocations for next year? Oh, besides our staffing allocation, our speech language pathologist went from a 1.5 person to 2 full-time people. Our mild moderate allocation also went up from 3 people to 3.5 people. So that's good news for all our students with specific individual education plans, which is great. And I'm thinking, I don't think anything else. Oh, we also kept our budget allocation for our 2 interventionists as well as our classified interventionists. So basically everything we're doing this year, we'll be able to do next year with the addition of 2 more teachers, one potentially in kindergarten, one potentially in first, and one potentially in second. Because right now we have 4 sections of kindergarten, 4 sections of first, and only 3 sections of second. So we're thinking that may stay the same. So we're budgeted for all of those, and that's really good news for us. We've been short for so long. It's been nice to actually have some extra money to budget for those. Now we just need the kids to come in, and then we should be all set.
And when did you say you would know, or when would you start hiring those positions?
So we will start hiring the positions we know about. So like Mr. Anderson's position and some of our new hires, we'll get there right off the bat. So March 7th, we can post internally. According to Mr. Anderson, his is a coveted spot because he's got the biggest music room in the district, allegedly, and the most equipment. So I guess it's a very desirable spot according to him. So I hope so. Hope we get a good. It's been a long time since I've had to hire a music teacher, so it'll be interesting to see what the pool is like. But hopefully, some industry candidates will be interested in that position, and we can fill that right away. And then the people who have told us that they are leaving will also get those positions hired right away. And so we should be able to get the cream of the crop right off the bat. It's those teachers who either decide to leave or go elsewhere late in the summer, or we have to add late. It's always tough. All right. So from there, I am going to try to present a document. So let me just stop presenting this and move to. I'm not sure why that's doing that. Okay, we'll go. Try to do that one.
We have room, like physical room for another second grade class.
That's a good point. Well, I'm trying to pull this up. So the district has given us a mobile, and so we're getting an extra mobile coming in next year. So most likely we're going to put 6th grade outside in the mobile because that's really the only space that we have, and then that frees up 2 classrooms for us. Because otherwise we would have no space whatsoever because I was unsuccessful in removing preschool from our building.
We're still gonna have 3 preschools.
We'll still have 3 preschools.
Well, you still have a setting for the one for the mobile, right?
Yes. Yeah. Because we basically took our old mobile out, and that's where we were going to put a garden. But then now we can't put a garden there because now we have to put a mobile in there.
Cost us anything?
That cost us $0.
Yay.
We have to open it internally first before we can do.
Do you have to hire from that?
No. Okay. I'd really like to show the budget, but it's angry with me. I don't know why it's doing that. It's angry. And you guys can't see that at home, right? You can't see my little screen thing there. Oh, let me give you one more second. I should have tested this out. Okay, share. Okay, so let's just do this. I'm just going to stop the recording for now, and I'll go over the budget, then I'll start recording.
So she's got I try to give her all the bells and whistles so I can raise the desk up. And
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah.
So she's got actually a stand-up desk as my head goes down and the desk goes up.
Pretty slick.
See, my cool thing is just my hot pink chair. Like, I'm just really excited about the hot pink office chair and my Dyson in the corner.
That's awesome.
I had instructions not to fiddle with any desk settings here because he's got up, raised down.
Right, right.
He's supposed to just sit and not fiddle with it.
Yeah.
I cheated. I got a memory pad, so I can cheat on that. I can just hit number 1. It's like a car.
All right, so I have gone it a different way. And so hopefully I can do this tab. And so forgive me because this is a little bit different looking, but it should be all right. So let me see if I can present this. Christ, it's converted. Okay, can you guys see that?
Oh, there it is.
It's coming.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so let's move on to the super exciting tab. So I'm just going to kind of walk through this with you. Can you guys see my arrow cursor? That's very helpful. Okay.
Yeah.
So the district allots us per pupil a dollar amount. So this year, for every student that walks in the door, we get $9,216, which you can see here. And so looking back to our current school year, this was what our October count was. And then this is what we were funded for the following school year, which was 514, which is an increase in per pupil salary or per pupil count. And then sliding over here, this is our budget for this year. And this is our discretionary tab, which means that we can spend this money on pretty much whatever we'd like to do. We'd like to spend it on teachers, which is silly, but that's how we typically spend our money. So you can see kind of our numbers here between kindergarten, first grade, grades 2 through 6, so on and so forth. Can you guys see that okay? Should we make it a little bigger?
It's good.
It's good? All right, how's that? Can you guys see that here?
Yeah.
Okay, besides my big giant head.
No, you're fine.
Okay. So from there, our total discretionary allocation here is at $3,013,307. So I like to say that I'm the CEO of a $3 million business. Super. All right. So down below here, this is our site allocations based on our population. And so what you can see here is we've got students who are free and reduced lunch. So we have 100 students that qualify for that. And so the district has given us, $147,000. And so roughly the weight amount is roughly, $1,300 per student there. With our students who are on IEPs or 504, we have 106, which is a large amount. And then you can see here, it's that 48,000, that number here.
You have 106 kids on IEPs?
We have
504s?
We have a lot of kids.
Out of 500 kids?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yep.
Pretty typical.
Yep.
About 1/4.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's,
If we were to add
my
in
20 years here, I don't think I knew that.
Did you just say in your 20 years here, Lacey?
I feel like it's been a very long time. One of mine does too. And I thought
Hi,
she was the
Tiffany,
only
how are
one.
you?
So I've got a question about the free and reduced lunch. So I know that this is for next year, but how did that affect this year's budget with the district, like just giving free lunch to everybody?
This is
Will that stop next year?
so this is the at risk. So this doesn't count.
Oh,
It's not for our nutrition services.
okay.
That's a federal mandate actually, or maybe it's a state mandate. But either way, this is not the same money. These are kids that will qualify for those running based on their family's mean income.
So what happens if this continued, if the state mandate or the federal mandate continued through next year, where does that money then go if you don't have to use it on the kids who qualify? Or will it still go for that? It'll
still be the same amount of money for the kids. I said this is nutrition services is a self-serving entity, so all the money that goes into nutrition services comes back out. So that has no effect on our budget whatsoever. These are just kids that qualify for free and reduced lunch based on their family's income. So as long as we have those kids that fill out the paperwork that they would get free reduced lunch, whether we have it here or not, we would still get that same funding. Does that make sense?
Yes.
What do you spend that money on?
We send this money on this $147,000 looks like 2 interventionists plus a classified interventionist.
Okay.
And that's what, if I were to scroll over here, oh, no, it's on a different tab. I have to fill in for each one of these, I have to fill in what we're spending that money on. So for example, going through the whole board, so anything with at-risk students is all our intervention services. If we could pay for an extra counselor, we would do that, but we're not allowed to do it. And then anything, these academic interventions
You're not
down
allowed
here.
to have another counselor?
No, that's a different conversation, but not yet. Hopefully. So academic intervention, that's what we would spend our iReady funding on, or else we would spend our intervention money there as well. And then when we get down here for iReady math and iReady reading, that's what we spend for any of that benchmark materials or the iReady online minutes and stuff like that. That's the money we spend there. We did not have any advanced placement because that's high school. And then gifted and talented goes into part of Ashley's salary, and then also goes into any services or programs that we use for our gifted students. So overall, this is our total number. So $658,159 is the total amount of money that we got for all these weighted formulas.
And that comes from the district?
Yep, this comes from the district. And this is the first time we've ever had it broken down like this, and this is brand new for our budget. We've never seen this.
Yeah,
like this
I don't
before.
think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, it's different.
And there were only 48 GT kids.
So
Okay.
identified GT kids. Yep. All right. So from there, moving down to the non-discretionary. So this is, we'll just get to that tab when we get to that tab. So I'll talk about this in just a second. So from there, if I scroll over, nope. They've not added in our prior year carryover or Fund 14 carryover. We did not get any highly impacted school requests. And so far we haven't any other allocations. So this is a zero sum section here. So from there,
You have carryover.
we will have carryover. We've got $64,000 carryover. We don't have a ton, but that's because we've got a lot of staff. All right. So then you can see here, our budget is balanced because it's a zero balance, which it has to be. And so then from here, this is where we input all of our different teachers. And so then we get to choose essentially what we have to spend our money on. And so we choose to have 2 intervention specialists. We've also got this professional learning specialist, which is Ashley Jakubowski. And then this is the number over here. And so this is how we can offset. So for example, Ashley is a 0.8 because she doesn't work on Fridays because she's got Bobo at home. And so from there, so that 0.8 gets reduced because half her salary goes into that gifted programming. So you can see how we've kind of mix and match. So a 1.0 would be a full-time student. And so then moving down from here, we've got 4 sections of kindergarten, 4 sections of first, potentially 4 sections of second. And then everybody else at this moment is 3 sections. And then you can see we got to hire music this year. And then we've also, Mrs. Dunker and Mrs. Avadil are also coming back in their roles. And then our 5th or our 6th second special is Karen, but she's a classified student or employee. So then moving down from here, we don't have any of those. We don't have any of those. We don't have any part-time employees. And so then from here, you can see this is where our registrar is retiring. And so this is our educational assistants. So these are all classified employees. And you can see these guys are paid by the number of days that they work a year based on the number of hours. And so we have our principal secretary, and then we have all of our educational assistants. And then we've got, this is our instructional assistant, and she's the one that is doing all the invention work. Then you see Mrs. Nottingham, and then Anna Hilton runs our CRT. And so how it affects our budget, sorry to make you all seasick, is if I come back up here, so each teacher costs us the exact same amount. So whether they're in their first year or their 400th year, it always costs us the same. So that's how we figure out our budget that way. And then same with the classified employees. And this factors in, because again, all our teachers definitely do not make $84,000. It factors in benefits and everything else. So it's kind of that one weighted sum. And then there's the same with the classified employees based on the number of hours you work in the job description. You can see that that's how much they cost. Okay. So any questions on the discretionary piece? And again, this is all where we can choose what we choose to spend our money on. And you notice you did not see the counselor position in that tab.
Just curious, who helps you with this? Besides us right here now. Like,
Nobody.
Nobody?
Nope.
This is all on you?
This is all on me. This is part of my job description. I usually go over it with Ashley and we talk about it.
So Ashley helps?
Yes, Ashley helps, and then all the other feeder principals help too.
And then like determining when you need another interventionist or another teacher, like that's just
That's
you
that's leadership
deciding,
team.
or you
Yep.
talk to the teachers.
So
and-
when we went down the route of deciding to spend our overage money, so let me scroll back up to the top. So this year we had extra funds because we had more students than we first anticipated. And so we decided to bring to our leadership team, hey, we would like to bring in interventionists because of this. The kids are coming off of COVID. We have seen some gaps in this we'd like to do. So it's a building-wide decision. We have something added on there. But as far as teachers assigning goes, as far as how many we need per grade level, that's just based on numbers. We like to keep a class size low because that's one of our SAC agenda items. Actually, it's number 1 on our SAC agenda item. And so anytime classes start creeping up in that 24, 25, 26, 27 range, then we start looking at other pieces. And right now, officially, second grade is going to be our largest grade. So we have 85 second graders right now. So that's definitely going to need 4 teachers. And these guys will probably be there by the end of the summer. So we like to budget ahead of time.
Right. Assuming all the first graders stay
Assuming,
here.
yep. So right now with what we call butts in the seats, like students who've actually registered on coming back, we have 85 second graders. These guys, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but they're sitting about 23, 24 a class right now. So if you get like 3 more kids, then we'll start having looking at a 4 section. And kindergarten is only at 42 right now, but they're always around 42 at this time because they typically register over the summer.
Yeah. Have you heard of kids leaving the school or district?
That will be interesting just based on some of the dynamics that have been happening around. I'm sure we'll probably lose some, as we always do. There's no new charter school coming online, but I do know that we've got a set population of students that are going to go to American Academy, as they typically do, since they're in our neighborhood. And there's that neighborhood just directly behind them. So hopefully they'll stay, but who knows?
Yeah.
The district estimation of 514. Have you found that the district estimation is typically low for you guys?
For the most part, it's been fairly spot on.
Okay, I know this last year was, I was just curious because you know the position that we're in.
Correct.
Okay.
And so, so Deb is at Chapin. So what she's saying is that they are typically projected lower. It's fairly low to try to get us in there because we are funded almost in arrears. So, for example, we are funded for 514 students moving into next year. Now, if we get to October and we have to count up all the students and we're below 514, then we have to pay money back. If we are above 514, the district gives us money. And so this year we were slated to be at 460 and we came in at 500. So that $20 or the 20 extra students gave us a significant amount of money, which is why we added those 2 interventionists. So if next year, if the numbers don't come in, then we'll have to either pay money, we'll have to pay money back if the students don't come in. That's what she's referring to. Good question.
Sorry.
No,
Sorry
that's
to
good.
cause the doom and gloom.
All right. So from there, we'll talk about the non-discretionary. And so you can see, we'll talk about the blue tab now. And this is money that I have to spend on what we're allocated. And so, for example, we have to have a principal. I'm not sure why, but we do. And then you can see here, this is where our so one FTE 1.0 is one person. So luckily the principal is just one. We probably need more, but it's only one. But then you can see we talked about our mild moderate went up. So we went from a 3.0, which is 3 people, to 3.5, so 3.5 people. Then you can see here, this is our speech language pathology, also went up. And these are numbers that the district gives us. This is based on our count of the students that need services. Our mental health stayed the same. Our SSN stayed the same. We do not have an effective needs program officially. And so we don't have a number there. This classified EA4, these are our classified teachers who work with our SSN students, which are our severe disabilities. So we have 5.28, and that's a little bit different. It's not a true FTE. It's 0.88 is a 1.0. So we have I think it's 7 or 8 of those. And then we have 2 people who are student specific, who are tied to a specific student. And then we have the same amount of ESL support at 1.5. This is Ashley's position because she's also our gifted and talented coordinator, as well as our induction coordinator, as well as a PLS, and she's 0.8. So this is her part of her role here. This is also certified substitute. So anytime that we have a teacher needs a substitute, this is the money that we have. And if it goes over that amount, which we did this year, then we have to pay that out of our own budget. READ-ACT, and so the number of students we have on a READ plan, which is currently sitting at 130, they give us money for that, so that's this number. And then we also have a literacy intervention specialist that works with our primary students. We have 2 of those. You can see here that FTE. We do need a building engineer, and he has to get paid overtime. So apparently he doesn't make very much money in overtime, but that's what we have allotted for that. And this is our school counselor. Since the district pays for a student or our counselor, we cannot just go out and just, purchase one to add in there. So what we've done to kind of circumvent that needs is, number one is she always has an intern, which helps us out. And then up here in our mental health, it is a 1.0 position, but right now it's a 0.6, 0.4, and 0.4 is a social worker. And so we've kind of tried to double up on that the best that we can, but we have to work within those parameters. So then, as you can see, we can't spend any money, and we're in the red, but that's okay because it just comes down because I split a position in half. And the reason why I did that was because our SLP right now it's 2 full-time positions, and our speech language pathologist wants to stay half-time. So I split it in half. And so in order, when you split it in half, it changes the benefits, which is why we're in the hole for $1,000. All right. So from there, you can see that we've got, just our same listed, and you can see it's a different cost amount, it's always the same. And please don't, if I made this, I would not be sitting here right now. That's for sure. So again, this is all the benefits. You can see the average salary plus the benefits. And so then you can see that we have all of those spots allotted in by our staff. And then down here at the bottom, this is our classified positions here, so on and so forth.
Hey, Josh, so you mentioned that substitute, like if you need more substitutes for the year than what was originally budgeted, do you have and you'd mentioned that comes out of the budget somewhere. Is it a contingency that you have put aside for that?
Yeah, we take it out of our nest egg, because what we did this year to really help us is we had so many just absences with COVID breaks that we pulled our certified teachers, and we didn't have to, but we chose to just pay them the regular sub fee. So that's why we went over, because they, for example, they've had to cover our 6th grade team 19 times this year. And that is a significant impact on our staff. And so it's also a significant impact on those teachers, because now they're doing double duty. And so we just, out of the kindness of our heart, just paid them extra time. That's why I went over. Typically we don't, but we did this year just because we just didn't think it was right to pull them out. And we have a rotating schedule between all of our teachers that are not tied to a classroom. And so they've all of them helped out. Mrs. Jakubowski, myself, we've taught days, we've taught classes. Actually, all of we all have. We just didn't pay ourselves. We just paid it. But that's what we do. Okay.
Thank you.
Sure thing. All right. Any other questions on the budget? Well, or maybe we should have a cup of coffee to wake yourself up, because it's super exciting. All right. So if you have any other comments or questions about it, like I said, it's, I have no secrets. You can see everything on there, and just feel free to ask. I'd be happy to share. All right.
Have any concerns about next year?
I'm a little concerned about numbers, as I always am.
Yeah.
I never like to pay money back, and I thought 514 was pretty steep. But again, we had 500 this year. We've got all that new build, and like I said, we've got kids that kept coming in, and we've we're over 500 now, so we're fairly close to that 540 number. So if we get the same number of kids back, but I always sweat all the way through the summer until the actual kid comes in. So the budget's not due till October count, so we'll go from there. So typically what I'll do, just to make sure that we have the money, is some of the positions I won't fill. So the teachers that we have, like the 4 sections of kindergarten, 4 sections of first, we don't have the numbers to support those yet. So I'll hold on hiring until we actually get the butts in the seats. So that way, if we have to pay money back, then we don't go into the red while we stay in the black, which we always have been ever since I've been principal here. Okay. All right. I will then go back to our agenda, and I think this is going to be the teacher report. Oh, nope, just kidding. So CMAS testing schedule. So we will be doing our state testing this year. So for our English language arts will be April 4th through the 8th. And again, this is only for students in 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. They'll be taking 1 section a day for that week. And then math will be April 10th through the 15th. And again, they'll be just taking, so it's essentially 2 weeks. And then for science, our 5th graders have to take science, so they will take 2 sections a day. So 1 science and 1 math during that week, so we can get it all the way done from there. And then the only other thing I want to talk about before I switch it over to the teacher report is then SAC participation for next year. So almost everybody here has kids returning next year. And so we'd love to have you return in your positions. The key is, do we want to have those positions voted on for this year, or do we want to wait until next year to go through the same voting cycle similar to what we did this year?
I would say wait till next year and see who shows up.
Okay. And that's typically what we do, is we always wait till the beginning of the year. So to see who comes and who's interested, and do from there. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now, Ashley, I believe this is going to be you. Yep.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with specials, because the specials team is really excited to share about Kid Heart Challenge, and that went really well. The kids had fun. Their goal was to raise $12,000 for the American Heart Association, and they raised $13,000. And so Miss Whittingham is still organizing the final donation gifts and whatnot, but I guess all of that will be wrapped up into March. So that's exciting for specials.
She pulled it off on on a delayed start day. So she went from 40 minutes to 30 minutes, and that helped. She made it. Not sure how, but she did.
She did, and nobody had to reschedule, and so that was a celebration too. Our classroom teachers have been continuing to work through their benchmark units. Most grade levels finished or almost done with Unit 5, which is about technology at work. And now they're into Unit 6, which is each grade really focusing on theme and message of a story and how that aligns to, whatever their state standards are related to that. And so that's what they're working on. At the PD day on Friday, the teachers had a chance to collaborate and spend some time with another pilot school using Benchmark this year, Mammoth Heights Elementary. And so they came together and really did some planning and brainstorming together around their upcoming units. And so that was valuable time for them. And then they also spent time on that day engaging in the district's Making Connections workshop. And so that was a district planned professional learning opportunity that was all virtual. And so teachers across the district could choose courses that were of interest to them. And all of the courses were related to social emotional learning and supporting students. And so teachers were able to pick out which classes they wanted to take. And they completed some reflections for Mr. Miller and I, which were really interesting. And they all have great ideas and things they're wanting to try in their classroom, really just centered around connecting with kids, right? Building those strong relationships with their students. So many of our teachers do that so well. And it's just, more strategies for how to get even better at that. In math, we're continuing to truck through Ready Math. Kids are still working on their iReady minutes in their classroom for reading and math and progressing with that. Like Mr. Miller mentioned in our last meeting, Ms. Steiner, our counselor, got picked to go to a conference, a national conference for school counselors. And so she's come back and brought learning from there. And another group of teachers, our first grade teachers and literacy interventionists and myself, attended CCIRA, which is a Colorado literacy conference. And so we learned more about supporting on-level readers, advanced readers, struggling readers, and are excited to bring back our learning and plan some professional development for the rest of our staff. And so those are kind of the big things that have been going on.
And I was thinking while you were talking, so Ashley is the lead for the all chaparral feeder for our gifted and talented students. Caitlin Wyrick is the lead for the chaparral feeder for our English language development. Amanda Schofield is on the district committee for math, and so she serves there. Lindsay Tyler is on the district committee for literacy. We're also piloting the Benchmark Advance. So our first grade team and our second grade team and our kindergarten team have all been highlighted from the district to be kind of the district trainers for Benchmark Advance. Is there anybody else? Oh, and then Jane is now one of two elementary counselors in the district to be chosen for this program as well. So we hired good people apparently. Is there anybody else? Did I leave anybody else out?
No, I feel like that's big. We've got lots of teacher leaders at this school, which is awesome. And so they're involved in these district opportunities and come back and help make us all better.
I feel like that should be posted somewhere, or
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal.
because
I agree.
love that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today, and I was going through this thing. Because Jane was talking about being selected for the thing. So we have kind of a lot of people in those leadership roles.
Yeah.
I'll think about how to put that out there.
Yeah, I think the parents and community would like to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got quite a bit of leader. And I think if I probably thought a little bit more, there's probably more that I forgot about. Okay.
I know. I feel like a lot of the SHAP feeder responsibilities we hold a lot of those at our school too. So that's good.
True. That is true. All right. So next, Deb, I think this might be you.
This might be me.
Yes, this is your debut.
Oh yeah. I'm Deborah again. So before I start talking about DAC, please feel free to interrupt me. Some of these things I have kind of like an inside knowledge or view on, and so sometimes I think, oh, everybody understands these things. So if there are any questions about anything I share about the DAC update, please feel free to interrupt me and just ask. There have been 4, I guess, meetings you can say since I think our last SAC meeting. So we had the December meeting, which a large majority of that was just spent talking about the literacy curriculum, which Josh and Ashley have shared a lot about. There were questions asked, just like we've asked here, around, well, what happens? Is there going to be one curriculum selected? 2, they weren't committal to any of that. So they haven't really said one way or the other in terms of it. There was also kind of a focus on family engagement through the question and answer session at that meeting. In the January meeting in the district, administrators and teachers are evaluated in two different forms. So teachers are evaluated in something called SITE, which teachers are evaluated on 5 different areas or standards. And then there's a 6th component that has to do with school data and teacher data. And so they just kind of reviewed, what are you looking for teachers to be evaluated on? What do you value as the community members on that? And then the lead side of it, which is what administrators are evaluated on. These rubrics are cycled through, continuously kind of reviewed, wordsmithed, and all those kinds of things to make sure they're up to date. And so they are just finishing up the cycle on the administrator evaluation rubric for use for next year is probably what they're going to be using it for. And again, there's 5 standards and then the school level data as well that impacts the evaluation. And then they did the school finance presentation, which is the same presentation that if you've watched the board meetings, has been on the board meetings. It's the same one that's just kind of out there. It's been showed a lot of times. It's on the district website. You can watch it, but I'm happy to send you a link if you want it. And then there was a special meeting at the end of January that discussed the Unified Improvement Plan. So the district has a district performance framework. So that lays out all the data for all the student achievement across the district. But then each individual school has a school performance framework. And every year schools, well, not every year, it depends on your status, every year or every 2 years, a school then will rewrite their Unified Improvement Plan. So what you do as a school leader, as a school staff, is that you sit down and you look at, what are the areas that we feel like our students really need to grow and really need to improve in, and then we look at root causes, and then we determine strategies. And then that goes into a big, long, very detailed document that then is sent to the district and then is sent on to CBE. And all of schools data and district data is available in a lot of different places. There's on the Colorado Department of Education's website, there's a dashboard that has all the data. But again, if you're looking for any of that, I know Josh is always happy to share that out. I can get you the dashboard information, all of that kind of stuff. I'm looking at you guys. I know there's people virtually. And then the last meeting was actually just last Thursday, and it was the DAC forum. And so DAC chose to focus on really communicating with families and parents around SEL, or social emotional learning. And so they had Scott Stipers come in, who, I'll be honest, I was a little skeptical at first, but he was really good. He's kind of a specialist around anxiety in kids. And he had some really great things to say. And I know that the presentation was recorded and is linked on the DAC website of Douglas County's website, that it was actually really good. And then they had breakout sessions around MTSS, which is like the interventions for our students who are struggling, and those different steps that we put into place, or different things you can look for in your kid if they're experiencing anxiety, those kinds of things. Any questions? I talked fast, sorry.
No.
On a side note, so our Unified Improvement Plan, we did not have to do this year because it's a 2-year cycle, since we are a performance school and have been forever, which is the top rating in that framework. And so we did not have to do one this year. We will do one next year, which will be fine with us, because then we'll maybe have some state testing to be able to work on, because last time we did, we had none. So there you go. All right. So from there, Lacey's been chomping at the bit for her big scene, and here she is.
So in PSP, we financially are doing well. We have $32,000. So we've kind of went over our budget a little bit tonight, and has decided to increase our Teacher Appreciation Week budget. I think we typically go over what is allotted anyways. So we're talking about starting to plan Teacher Appreciation Week, and wanting to make sure that we're showing our teachers how appreciated they are. Other things that we have coming up, school supply kit signups will go out soon. Yearbooks will come the end of the year. Games night is April 21st. Mornings with Moms is May 6th. Teacher Appreciation Week is May 2nd through 6th. The school dance was rescheduled to May 13th. So we have hopefully a lot of fun activities happening soon that we haven't been able to do in a long time. I think that's about it. Some of our grants recently approved. We paid for the hotel for the teachers that did the CCIRA conference. We approved a book vending machine that'll be coming to the library that'll be used for
The book vending machine is
awards.
really cool. So as the kids earn some of their awards, they can come down and get these special tokens, and then the tokens can then be put in the vending machine to give them books. And we've got K through 6 books in there. So any student that has awards can come down and do that. We thought it might just be a fun, motivating way to reward our students. So it won't be a cost to the students. They could just earn those tokens by behavior. So we're pretty excited to get that, and we'll be the only school in all of Douglas County to have one of those.
That's a great idea.
That's all PSP.
Yeah. So that was our big purchase this year. I think that is about it. Any questions?
And then luckily right there is our teacher appreciation gifts for Apple Award. Our 2 Apple Award staff winners are Meredith Becker, who is our school nurse, who's worked harder than any person in this building for the last 2 years. And then Anna Breeze is our current first grade teacher. She is the other Apple Award winner, and those are their awards sitting next to that PSP provides them, in case you were wondering.
Yes.
All right. So from there, I think that moves us on to our open forum. Does anybody out in the community have any questions? I'm going to stop presenting so I can see everyone. Anything coming up in the community that I should know about or have questions about that I'll do my best to answer?
How's the staff feeling with all the recent stuff going on with the board?
I would say there is a lot of mixed emotions. I think it's a little bit of uncertainty about what the plan is going to be. The staff loved Corey, loved everything about Corey, felt like he was one of their own. I mean, we had a lot of staff that have worked with him, have known him for, the quarter of a century that he was in the district. So I think that was a little bit of a shock to people. And then just coupled with the fact that there's not a clear path on what's going forward. Teachers are planners and like to know what the future brings. And so they don't know that, and they becomes a little bit unstable for them. That's a challenge. And so they're kind of just waiting along with everybody else to see kind of what the pathway is out. But I do say that we have some people that are very disappointed in the outcome. And so I think some of those people, you're going to see some outflux. We already have a couple people on our staff that are leaving the district just based on a change in philosophy. So that's a little bit saddening to see.
Your anxiety because of the bomb threats and the other ridiculous things?
We were lucky enough not to have any threats here, but the fact that it was in Parker was a little bit disturbing to some of our staff members. And that stuff gets out on social media, and so then teachers start jumping to conclusions. They get a little bit scared.
Are you talking about the flyers on the car? I couldn't quite hear her.
Yeah.
Okay. None of our teachers got that?
Cherry Creek Board of Education had to cancel a meeting because of a bomb threat. They came in Cherry Creek School District as well.
Yeah, we did not get any flyers in our parking lot, which was great. I went and checked in the middle of the day when those started coming out, and I would have just removed them from the car if I had seen any anyway, so teachers didn't have to experience that. But fortunately, there wasn't any out in our parking lot. But teachers, again, teachers talk, and they all get on social media and they see those things. So they don't necessarily feel like they were loved. But to be perfectly honest with you, in the building ourselves things are going pretty well. I mean, the staff is still in a good place. They still support each other. They're still here for the kids. And so building wise is great. But you start going outside the building again, then people they're just afraid of what's going to happen next just because they don't know.
Yeah.
So you said there's some people leaving the district. Anybody in our
There's a couple people leaving the profession entirely.
Yeah.
But we've got 2 teachers right now with a potential third, and once they publicly announce it, then I'll put it out there. But
because of what is happening, or
I'm not 100% sure. I think it's just some it's a growing frustration, and some of it's just financial. So it's all kind of together. We've got one for sure financial, and then we've got 2 that are frustrated with the direction. So
Yeah.
it's, yeah. All right. Other questions, comments, anything else going on? All right. The only thing that I just want to chat about is we've had some talk about our parking lots is filling up. And so I've reached out to the city and town of Parker to try to put some no parking signs along Clark Farms right there. It's really the backside of people's fences. We'll see if they come through. They typically have not been super cooperative in helping us out, but we're going to try. So that was a suggestion by one of the parents out there, because it sounds like a lot of people are parking the side, which then shrinks down the road, and then there's not room to get around. And so we've talked about that. We've been trying to get a hold of our daycare vans as well, because it sounds like the daycare vans are kind of blocking the turn lane as well.
Mhm.
And so, Christina, since you drive it every day, I'm sure you know exactly what we're talking about. So,
You know it.
yep.
I just opted to teach her how to tuck and roll. Is that not an option so she can get out faster?
That's right. Right.
You'll see me driving through in the morning. I'm not going out in this cold.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay. Any other questions?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Okay, we were doing like a staggering dismissal because of COVID, and we were all going out these different doors and stuff. Are we still doing that?
We have about a 5-minute staggered dismissal a little bit for the younger kids, because we have
Yeah.
to collect them, but we don't have a staggered dismissal anymore.
Okay.
And then pretty much the kids exit in every which way or shape or form. And then we open all doors in the morning as well, but it's not for COVID, just for,
But they can go in.
yeah, they can go in
whatever
any door they want, and they can leave any door they want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have one child that is like, no, Mom, I have to go through this door. And I'm like, I don't think that's a thing anymore. I think you can go through whatever door you want.
They can go through any door that they want. Most of our kids like to come through the front door because that's where breakfast is in the morning.
Yeah.
Quickest exit strategy on the way out is their thing. No, any door they
So
want.
is first grade supposed to come out at 3:25 or 3:30 or whenever they want?
They can come out anytime between there.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we usually start collecting the younger kids about 3:25, and so like a third of the class leaves because they're going to base or the bus or whatever. So then we collect the kids to carpool. So, and then they kind of meander out at that point.
I have one that doesn't come out till 3:45 because she's busy drawing on a whiteboard.
This is also true. All right. Any other questions? All right. So for those of you in the room, thanks for coming, and drive safe. Those of you at home, I guess walk safe when you leave. So looks like it's fairly dark where you guys are. So maybe turn on a light or, something like that. Have a snack.
For the next meeting.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, you guys, for coming. Our next meeting is April 26th. We'll all look a lot tanner at that point, and then we'll wrap up the end of the year.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank
Thanks for your
you.
time. You guys take care.
Thanks, Josh.